time for our midweek dose of my countdown from 100 through to number 1 of my favourite albums of the millennium years, 2000 to 2009. Gesticulating. Suddenly become very aware of it. It's because when I upload the videos and then I look for the image that's going to be the image I started with, I look for one where I'm doing something weird, gesticulating. So I might do this. And then that's easy for me to pick out later on. That becomes my cover image. Alright, so we got 60 through to 51. 10 albums just missing out on a top 50 place. Lucky them. Number 60, Scarlet's Walk by Tori Amos. So I think these albums get to a point where singles campaigns get a bit ropey for people who are seen as album artists, and Tori Amos is one of those artists, because all we got was a sort of fairy tale, and then Taxi Ride, which didn't really come out as a single properly, and then Don't Make Me Come to Vegas, which came out as remixes. Still nice covers and stuff like that, but no real singles campaign. This album is Tori's talk of a journey through America. And I think I bond with most of this album, but some of the tracks in this album people absolutely love, and I just don't get it. But the tracks I do love, I love. My favourite track on this would be. Now I've actually just engaged in a ranking thing that a particular Facebook group does, and now I've got to make sure that I remember the album I put at number 1, otherwise I'm going to contradict myself in public forum. I think my favourite track on this is Your Cloud. Pretty sure my favourite track on that is Your Cloud, and I am maybe inconsistent. 59, Come With Us by the Chemical Brothers. Really great album from beginning to end, and it features what I think is the Chemical Brothers' best song, which is Star Guitar, and one of the greatest music videos of all time for Star Guitar. You have to watch it. You have to shoo. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And I love like all the tracks on this one. My favourite one being Star Guitar. And yeah, that's what I'm going to say about that one. 58, Emiliana Torrini, Fisherman's Woman. Now, her previous album, Loving the Time of Science, which may make this countdown, who can say? Yeah, it was this decade. This is a complete contrast to this. Went all like kind of folky and quiet, whereas the other one was a bit more trip hoppy and grandoise. Is that how you pronounce it? Grandoise, grandoise. It makes me think of somebody going wah, like a grandoise. That's what went into my head. But Fisherman's Woman, a lovely listen, and really amazing to see her perform live. If she ever bothers again or comes to Manchester to do it at least. My favourite track on this has got to be. It changes. This is one of the ones that change. My favourite changes. So. No, I'm going to go with the obvious. I'm going to go with Sunny Road. That was the single. And Heartstopper as well. What are we up to? 60, 59, 58, 57. Animal. Electro pop at its finest. Annie, she has a grasp of chewing gum pop, because that's what one of the songs is called. Alongside sort of like, she has an ability to make really lightweight electro pop sound quite dark and a little bit menacing, maybe. Anyway, it features one of my favourite songs of all time, which is Heartbeat. My neighbours are making noises. Do they not know I'm recording a video? Yeah, Heartbeat is my favourite track on this album, but I'm just looking at the trailers going, oh, it's wonderful. I'm going to listen to that soon. 76? No, 66. Oh my word. 70, 59, 58, 57, 56. Garbage, Bleed Like Me. Initially, I think I was a bit disappointed in this album, but no longer. Singles were Why Do You Love Me, which always got me from the word go. It's rousing. Sex Is Not the Enemy. No, Coronavirus is the enemy. And Run Baby Run, which is stupid because babies can barely crawl. I don't know where this dad humour's coming from. My dad. Run Baby Run is my favourite song of this. It's a really lovely song, and I think people ignore Garbage quite a lot. I think in the mainstream, Garbage fans are like, "What? That's so good," but other people just say, "Oh, they had that album with the pink cover and then the orange cover and then nothing else." That's your problem, not mine. Favourite track off that one is Run Baby Run. 75. Saint Etienne, Tales from Turnpike House. It took me ages to bond with this album because it was because it's a themed album again, around sort of suburban life, and really ordinary things that happen to ordinary people, like hearing the milk bottles being delivered and deciding you need to move house and having a walk home. Really mundane topics, but I think when you sit down and listen to it as an album, it holds together extremely well. My favourite track off this one, oh dear me, now I've got to choose one, because I really love Lightning Strikes Twice, and I really love Teenage Winter, and I really love Good Night, but I'm going to go for Lightning Strikes Twice as my favourite album off this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's off the song. If you've not heard it, it was random. 74, Frou Frou, and the album is called Details because it says so there. Imogen Heap and Guy Sigworth got together and they were a band for a bit. Even though they like do music together under her name, this one had a band name. Don't know why, they just did. I'm sure there's a story behind it, but I didn't bother to Google it. Again, really good electro pop, really emotive. Lots of noises from Imogen. Again, if you know the album or her in general, you'll know that is quite thematic of her music. Sorry, I mean that in a complimentary way. Breathe In was the first single, and I adore that song. And I adore quite a lot of this album. I adore Only Got One, really nice rolling beats on that one. Let Go was a single, I think, and It's Good to Be in Love and Must Be Dreaming. I think they were all singles. Again, I need to listen to this one. It's too long. Is this a coloured vinyl? Red vinyl. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 73. Madonna, Hard Candy. Now, look at the state of her. Look at the state of her. But she got worse from this point. Madonna, I could hear the hackles going up on Madonna fans' necks there. This features one of my favourite, if not favourite, Madonna song. Hackles going up on the back of Madonna fans' necks. And it's Candy Shop. Oh, I can hear you all. I love Candy Shop. I don't know why I said it in a weird way. I love Candy Shop. It is probably my favourite Madonna song. I like One Stop, Candy Shop, everything that I got. Oh, it sounds One Stop. If you don't know the song, I'm being really weird right now. But 4 Minutes was the big single off this one with Justin Timberlake. Give It To Me was also a single, and also Miles Away, which I think was one of her first songs not to hit the top 30. But hey, that's how things go these days. The album background, apart from Madonna looking utterly ludicrous like this, I mean, her face looks good, but what she's wearing and the fact she's dressed as a boxer and she's licking something, and $M it says on her ring. The woman has no class, let's face it. But the candy in the background, delicious. And my friend Spencer gave me a version of this album that has a bag of this candy in it, which I haven't eaten because it's probably gone off. 62 is Shakespears Sisters, Songs from the Red Room. This was released on vinyl for the first time ever for Record Store Day last year. And I think it must have been the first time I actually sat down and listened to the album from beginning to end, because I knew the singles and a few bits and pieces. Was it really obvious I burped then? Oh well, it happens. Bitter Pill, both versions of Bitter Pill, the version that was on the album and the version that was released as a single. Absolutely fantastic electro-pop songs, is my most over-quoted phrase of the entire video. And I love the consistency of the writing from the Hormonally Yours album. Also great songs. Was It Worth It is a great song. It's a Trip was great. Was great, is great. Pulsatron was a single, but it's about dildos, and it kind of puts me off a little bit. What was the other one? The other single off this one was Bad Blood, great track. That was number 62. 61, now I'd love this one on vinyl. If anybody wants to just give me a copy of this on vinyl, I'd be very, very appreciative. Not in a whorish way. Tori Amos, American Doll Posse. Look at this, look how lovely version with all the books. So this is again another Tori Amos concept album where she had her own girl band. And it was Tori and Pip and Clyde and Santa and another one. I'm just going to say Floyd. And they were a girl band, and the idea was that it was a different version of her that performed each of the songs, and it doesn't really show for me, but I enjoy most of this album. I think it's tons better than the albums in between, To Venus and Back and this album. And my favourite track on this is another one that changes, because I love Bouncing Off Clouds and I love Big Wheel, and I love Mr. Badman, and I love Body and Soul, and I love Programmable Soda, which Tori Amos fans will spit on me for. I love Almost Rosie. I love Posse Bonus as well. I think right now I'm going to say my favourite track of this is Almost Rosie. Who wasn't one of these? Maybe the sixth one was Almost Rosie. Maybe that's where Rosie might have stood. Maybe. Right, so that was 60 through to 51 of my favourite albums of the millennium years. I refuse to call it the noughties.